Hi, I'm Amber Gooch,
And I'm Myles Gooch.
and we've been coming to the Burg since Easter of 2024.
In 2021, I graduated from UNC Charlotte, and I knew that summer I wanted to make Amber my wife. So I got her ring, I proposed, and she said yes.
Two weeks later, we find out I'm pregnant with our daughter, Myla. Life got really real then. So during that time, we were very in and out of church. I was very worldly and very like the universe and like how I'm feeling, like my inner self. He took it upon himself to be like, hey, I really want my kids to grow up in the church. We were living in a lot of sin, a lot of worldly things, and we had other priorities. Like God was not our priority.
One of the hardest things were, finding that right church for us, finding the home.
We were so in the midst of having a baby, planning a wedding, buying a house. We were just in what felt like a big storm, and we couldn't figure out like, how is our life so full, but yet
Felt so empty.
we were constantly trying to fill.
Of empty void. And that void is where obviously we soon found out that it was Jesus missing.
As we're bouncing around to these different churches, unknowingly, my mom had wrote us down on her sticky note in hopes that we would come join her for Easter Sunday. I think that God must have put it on her heart to not tell us that she had been diligently praying for us. His parents as well were praying for us. God knew that we needed it to be behind the scenes for us to make that decision on our own. So after that Easter of 2024, our first time coming to the Burg, we put again God on the back burner and we weren't coming as frequently. It wasn't until this February 2025, unknowingly on the same day, we gave our life to Christ during worship.
It was crazy because that was a tough week for me. And I remember that morning really needing to come to church.
And that's what the amazing part about God is that we came to church that day together, but we had such separate experiences standing right next to each other. God knew that we both needed to hear that song. He knew that we were gonna give our life that day. We just didn't know. So after service, we got in the car and we started talking about wow, that worship was really good. And we're both I just gave my life to God. It was just a very surreal moment.
We just talked all the way there, all the way back home. And I remember, that week we were just on fire where we got our Bibles, we started just opening it up.
It was like the mud had been wiped from our eyes.
The week of giving our life to Christ, what really solidified everything was, it was a super tough deal that I was in the middle of, and it closed. But I didn't register in my head that during this time and where these properties were located was actually in Faith, North Carolina, the town of Faith. And it was staring me in my face the entire time that God has been with me and God has been with us the entire time. I think it's extremely important that God is in our family.
I don't want our kids to have to bear the weight that we did growing up and in our early parts of our relationship. I want them to be able to lean and cast all of their worries and anxieties and fear onto God. There's so much peace where there's pressure. There's so much more than just love. And when you put God at the center of it all and you are able to cast all of that, you don't have to bear the weight of that any longer. You can live in peace. God knew that we needed to also be on the walk with my sister, your sister-in-law. My sister since December, has been diligently planting those seeds in us, again, without us even knowing. And on the Sunday that we gave our life to Christ during the mention of his name, our sister had signed up after service for baptism. Later that week, you and I decided together as a unit that we wanted to rededicate our lives to Christ. and we tell our mom, and she's like, Alyssa just signed up for baptism. And we're like, well, we did too.
Yeah.
So now we're all getting baptized
Together.
God knew that he couldn't put it right in our face.
Right.
It had to be little coincidences that would bring us to him. And he knew that it was going to be all in our family. And it was going to be this beautiful thing that we were going to be able to share with other people and share with our kids.
Yeah.
Like how amazing God is and in what little and mighty ways that he works.
I'm Myles.
I'm Amber.
And this is our story. Oh, and at the Burg,
we the fam.